Welcome back. This is episode 19 of the My Pet Care video show. In today's show, we'll hear why the help and support of a vet who knows you, your pets and your family is so important, and we'll see what Simon's cat is up to in springtime. We'll hear about some common behavior problems in cats, we'll learn how to care for a rabbit, and I'll offer you my quick pet care tip for this episode. I'm John Sheridan, and this is the show that helps everyone with an interest in the management and care of companion animals, and especially pet owners just like you, to keep your animals fit, happy and healthy members of the family. One of the big benefits of the World Wide Web is our ability to access information about almost anything in an instant with the click of a mouse. So as owners, we can find out about diseases which affect our pets and see what vaccinations are necessary. We can key in some symptoms to find out what might be wrong when they're unwell, and we can buy pet medicines from online pharmacies. Does that mean we don't need to take our pets for a regular health check, or purchase the flea or worm control products, or seek the advice of our local veterinary practice? The short answer is no, but here's a clip from Steve Dale's Pet World video which explains why preventive pet care and the help and support of a vet who knows you, your pets and your family is so important.
Pet owners are increasingly finding new ways to get information about their pets, and lots of different places are now available to buy pet products, even down to pharmacies that previously only carried human medication. They're now carrying pet medications as well. But what might look like savings and convenience could actually be taking a risk with your pet's health, according to Dr. Michael Paul.
The veterinarian knows your pet, knows you, knows how these drugs interact with animals and with other drugs that your pet might be on. So unfortunately, the pharmacists at a lot of drugstores, and I've talked to a lot of them, and big box stores or neighborhood stores, they don't have a whole lot of familiarity with veterinary drugs.
And all of the information we can get online sometimes leads us to think that we don't need veterinary visits. That can lead to delays in visits and problems that could have been solved early becoming more complicated and even more expensive. Dr. Michael Cavanaugh of the American Animal Hospital Association says that we need to realize that our veterinarian does make a difference when it comes to quality of life for our pets.
You hear people talk about their dog getting old and they don't like to go up and down stairs anymore, and they don't like to go on walks anymore. Why do you think that is? Because they hurt.
Yep.
Now, how many of us want our dogs or cats to hurt?
Nobody does.
You know, and there's so many new things that veterinarians can do, from, you know, not just medications, but different rehabilitation techniques and things like that can really help animals that have arthritis and what we would say are old.
So please make sure that your pet is seeing a veterinarian at least once a year.
Now let's smile with a pet for this episode. It's Simon's cat in springtime. Now for the website search for this episode. Cats make wonderful pets. They're fun and funny. They keep themselves clean and well groomed, and they're curious and inquisitive. They poke their noses into paper bags and empty boxes, and they sidle up to strangers for a stroke. They chase their tails, play with toys, and enjoy climbing up trees, walls, and sometimes your furniture. Cats make good friends. They seem to have that sixth sense that tells them when something is wrong in their owner's life. If you feel down, frustrated or cross, your cat will often wrap herself around your leg or jump onto your lap for a cuddle and a snooze. Cats make great pets, but sometimes they behave in ways that owners find frustrating. Here's a clip in which Deborah Horwitz discusses some common behavior problems in cats and how to handle them.
If you're a cat owner, you already know this. Cats are now the most popular pet in the United States. They have outpaced dogs as our #1 pet. And for good reason. They're cuddly, they're fun, we love them. But sometimes they exhibit behaviors that upset us. And for cats, they often end up losing their homes over these behaviors. Hi, I'm Dr. Deborah Horowitz. I'm a board-certified veterinary behaviorist with a behavior referral practice in St. Louis, Missouri. I would like to talk to you about some of the behavior problems that cats have that upset us as cat owners and give you some tips on how to manage those so that both you and your cat can have a happier, more satisfying relationship. Cats have different personalities. Some are very friendly and outgoing, and some are very timid and shy. So a cat that runs when the doorbell rings may just be a timid, shy cat that really doesn't want to make more friends. Sometimes even a well-adjusted, outgoing cat may seek privacy and hide a little bit. Choose a cat that works for you. If you're a very gregarious, outgoing person that has a lot of company, then it may work best if you have an outgoing, interactive cat. But don't worry, if you have a timid and quiet cat, just make sure that you offer your kitty some safe places where they can hide and watch without necessarily interacting. That could be something like an igloo bed or even a high perch on a cat pole. One of the questions I get all the time is, why does my cat bite me when I pet them? Cats who really like each other will groom each other. But most of that grooming takes place around the head and the neck. Some cats seem to prefer interaction around the head and neck, scratching on the ears, a light pet on the top of the head, but not enjoy stroking down the entire body. So if your cat is one of those kitties who doesn't like when you give them long strokes down their back, why don't you try just scratching them a little bit around their head and neck? The second thing you need to be aware of is the cat will usually give you a signal when they're not particularly happy. These can be subtle, just as a little flick of the tip of that tail. Other cats, their ears will go back, and some cats even might hiss at you. You may then realize that what your cat wants to do is be close to you without being touched.
Now for my quick pet care tip for this episode. Let's switch our thoughts from cats to rabbits. Rabbits are friendly, intelligent and clean, and they make good family pets. Given suitable accommodations, space to exercise and the correct food and bedding, most rabbits are happy living indoors or outside. They generally need more attention than many smaller pets, and because they occasionally scratch and bite, they're probably unsuitable as pets for toddlers, but ideal for older children under the supervision of an adult. Here's a clip in which Rebecca Campbell, a vet in New York, offers some advice about keeping rabbits.
Today I'm going to talk to you about how to raise a healthy rabbit. More so than other companion animals, feeding the proper diet to a rabbit is extremely important. It's really essential for their survival. And the most important part of a rabbit's food should be hay. Hay is dried grass, it's very rough and fibrous. They need that fiber for their digestion. And without hay, they can't keep their molar teeth ground down properly. Their teeth are continually growing. So hay should be about 90% of what you feed a rabbit. And the less commercial, the better. Food should really just be fresh food like hay, a little bit of fresh greens. Rabbit this size, get about a cup or two of fresh greens. It's mostly for fun and variety. And then a rabbit should have approximately a quarter cup for an average rabbit of plain rabbit pellets, which are essentially ground up hay mixed with vitamins. Some people feed their rabbits only rabbit pellets, which do have the nutrition that they need, but it doesn't have the fiber for the digestion. And as herbivores, they have to have a huge amount of dietary fiber or they can die, sometimes suddenly. Their teeth will also get in serious trouble if they're not chewing fibrous hard things. Veterinarians who take care of rabbits can trim overgrown front teeth, even with the rabbit wide awake. But taking care of overgrown molars is a more serious endeavor. It requires general anesthesia. Some pet shops sell hay, and there are different kinds of hay. Grass hays like Timothy are very common and nutritious. Other hays like alfalfa, pet stores will also carry. But the best bet is to use a hay farm, and they sell their products over the internet. Rabbits enjoy being stroked and in the company of their owners, but as prey species at the bottom of the food chain, they're really afraid of being picked up. So in general, try to spend time on the floor with your rabbit. Let him or her come and hop around you and stroke her on the ground, but don't pick her up too much. Occasionally you do have to pick your rabbit up in order to move her to a different area or clean her cage, play with her. So the proper way to pick a rabbit up is to put one hand under her chest and another end under her hindquarters and hold her against your body. Never pick up a rabbit just by the front end, or he or she will kick very violently, and rabbits can snap their spine and become suddenly paralyzed if they do that kind of kicking. In order to run quickly, rabbits are designed to have very powerful muscles and very lightweight skeletons, and their bones are far more brittle than other similarly sized animals like small cats, for example. Anyone handling the rabbit needs to be very careful not to drop the animal. Little children need to be carefully supervised around rabbit pets because they commonly scratch a bit and get dropped, and then that can cause serious injury to a rabbit's delicate skeleton. Every animal needs to be exercised, and rabbits should be let out of their cage for at least 1 or 2 hours a day. They need to be closely supervised because they can chew your house and all your possessions very quickly. So any exercise area or room that a rabbit's allowed in needs to be thoroughly rabbit-proof.
So what's my quick pet care tip? Well, it's this. If your children are past the toddler stage and keen to have a pet, consider the rabbit option. Remind them that pets aren't toys to play with and discard, but living animals that need to be looked after every single day. Teach them how to handle, feed and exercise their rabbit, and how to keep its hutch and bedding clean, warm, dry and comfortable. And you, they and their new rabbit can have a great time together. Well, that's about it for now. I'm John Sheridan, and this is the My Pet Care video show. See you next time.